a cursed doll, and a sinister entity with eyes of different colors. Don't miss out. The psychics will expose a woman who called a child to a cemetery to conduct a bloody ritual. You are watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and impressive stories. The most intriguing paranormal phenomena and resonant criminal cases are investigated and explained here. People who call themselves clairvoyants do it with their supernatural abilities. Liliya Tretjak from Ukraine asked the psychics for help. She and her husband, Serhiy, raise a daughter, Sasha, and a son, Stepan. Liliya fears for their lives, as her family members have been dying one by one. First was her grandma, and then her mother and father, both at the age of only 42. The deaths occurred within a year. The woman thinks the reason for that is the cursed doll that was once hidden in the foundation of her parents' house.
For some reason, my grandma didn't pay the people who did the construction. People say that the builders put the cursed doll in the foundation to punish her for not paying them.
Several years after the case, Liliya's grandmother died under mysterious circumstances. She froze to death on the outskirts of the village. After that, Liliya's parents moved into the house. Soon afterward, her mother chalked on SO. The official reason is the chimney wasn't functioning properly.
My brother and I arrived and saw Mom lying dead. I felt so sorry for her.
And then, in the same house, Liliya's father was beaten to death by a local man who came to borrow money from him.
He died from pain shock.
After her father's funeral, Liliya stayed in the family house for the night, and something utterly strange happened there.
Something woke me up in the middle of the night.
Liliya heard weird squeaking. When she turned out the night light, she saw a real nightmare in the mirror.
There was a snake in the mirror.
And then a chest appeared in it, and inside it held 2 severed human heads.
My and my brother's heads, blindfolded with black strips of cloth.
When Liliya came back home the following day, she felt somebody standing by her bed at night.
I had a feeling of being touched by somebody, but there was nobody next to me.
And the next moment, Liliya, her terrifying words.
A male voice said, "I am here. You just can't see me. I'll show you where I am."
Then a toy car rode out of her children's room by itself, circled the room, and hit a leg of the table.
I heard the car bang on the table leg, but when I checked on my children, they were sleeping.
The young mother soon realized that it was a warning. Next day, Liliya and her husband and children were going to the town by car. Suddenly, a road sign that hung above the road fell on the car. It was torn off by the strong wind.
The road sign fell on the hood and split it open. We got terrified.
And a few days later, Liliya had a bad nightmare.
In the dream, I was walking around a cemetery. There was a grave there, but I couldn't get whose it was.
Liliya says that in that dream, she realized the grave was fresh, and then she saw all her relatives crying around it. Suddenly, she heard a child scream through the dream.
"Mommy, mommy, mommy, help!"
When Liliya opened her eyes, she saw her son standing next to her bed with blood on his face. It turned out the boy had had a nightmare, too. He woke up and ran to his mother, but running, he hit his forehead on the door frame.
He hurt an eyebrow. The wound was nasty, so he was screaming and crying loudly.
Little Stepan said he'd seen an awful man with his eyes of different colors in his dream, and even after he woke up, he saw the terrible stranger in reality.
"I saw those large eyes. One was blue and the other was black."
Soon, the woman saw the strange man from the netherworld in her bedroom. He was whispering ominous words to Liliya. "I am going to kill you and all of your family." Liliya didn't know where to run or whom to ask help from, but her late mother told her what to do.
I saw Mom in my dreams twice. She said, "Go to psychics. Don't hesitate and do it, or you'll die soon."
Our psychics, Rubina Tsibulska and Yaroslava Fedorova, answered Liliya's call for help.
I'm not sure if it's because of the doll. I paid attention to the photo of the father.
Liliya's father?
Yes, and I had a vision of a young man from the other world standing next to the father. His eyes are different in color, and he repeats, "Kill her."
Do you mean some entity is making Liliya's father destroy his own family?
You see, in the vision, Liliya's father was still alive.
Who then did the entity order him to kill?
I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
I'd like to thank you for coming. Help me, please. I first thought it was because of the doll hidden in the old house, but the house is uninhabited now.
I see something quite different now. 2 women. One of them is crying and shouting to the other one. If she's gone, he will come back to me.
It looks like some kind of love triangle.
Let's go and check the house in which the doll is. We've got to work there. The pendulum swinging.
The doll is here. Do you feel it?
The thread turned like this, like somebody's controlling it.
The doll wasn't made to cause death. Its purpose is to destroy the house.
I'm having another vision. The house is on fire.
Yes.
Liliya says a short circuit once happened in the house owing to a sudden power spike. The house burned to ashes. After that, it had to be rebuilt from scratch.
The doll, as the destruction charm left in the house's foundation by the builders, did its job. That was the manifestation of the curse.
Your grandma, mom, and dad's deaths have nothing to do with the doll.
Then what's happening to me?
Quiet.
It can't be. The curtain simply tore off and fell. But Liliya says there can't be anyone in the house. She's the only person to have the key.
I'm shocked.
Wait a minute. This is the same young man from the other world. All these deaths of your grandma, dad, and mom, as well as the danger to you, are coming from this young man from the netherworld.
Why is he haunting this family?
Open the house. I want to talk to him.
The curtain is torn off completely.
It's not a spirit. It's an entity. And it's very powerful.
I feel that this entity is provoking the deadly situations in which your family members find themselves. My God, it's so horrific. I see your father's body here. He was murdered right in this place.
Yes, right here.
The attacker was out of his mind, and his gaze was hazy. He punched and kicked your father with an inhuman force. It's like something took possession of him.
The man who murdered my father wasn't tall. He was much shorter than Dad. The court didn't believe at first that he could possibly do it because Dad was much stronger than him.
But suddenly, I heard eerie, really terrifying laughter from the next room. The entity is watching us from there.
This is where the mirror I told you about is.
The same one in which you saw the severed heads?
Yes.
When I tuned into the mirror, I saw Liliya's father in it. His face was contorted, and he was beating somebody and kicking them so hard, like he was going to kill them.
I think it's a woman. Who is she?
Mom.
Liliya still remembers her and her brother always defend their mother from their father's terrible beatings all the time.
But your father wasn't always like that. I feel that initially he was a model family man.
Yes. Dad was always good to me and Mom. He loved her madly.
But I feel that with time, your father started feeling jealous of your mother. It began after he started going somewhere far away for a long time.
Yes, it really was so. He went to work abroad.
According to Liliya, every time her father returned from his trips, he began maniacally suspecting her mother of unfaithfulness, despite even the fact that there were absolutely no reasons for that.
Mom was home with us all the time. She simply had no time to go somewhere.
But somebody kept assuring your dad of the opposite, like they were provoking him.
It was the young man with different eyes. He had been manipulating Liliya's father.
The entity in the appearance of the young man pushed the father to kill the mother, and I have a feeling he almost did it.
Yes, he was kicking her and we pulled him off her, but he wanted more, and he saw that Mom fell and couldn't get up, and she couldn't stand up the following day.
The man called an ambulance and told the doctors and everyone else in the family that his wife had fallen from a ladder. The woman was bedridden and couldn't take care of herself, let alone the little children.
Your father was supposed to look after you and your mother, but he seemed to not care at all.
Yes.
The man gave up work and started drinking heavily and spending nights out of home.
We cooked our own food and milked the cows.
This is so terrible. You stayed without the mother.
And without the father, though they were both alive.
While I'm here, I feel dizzy. Can we go outside?
A woman. Do you see her? She's a mother, and she's furious at somebody because of her child.
Wait. My child, you hurt my child. Because of you, my son is not like everyone else. The woman is shouting out these words to you.
That's my brother's wife.
Your brother's wife?
Yes, she has a son, but he has a problem with his lip.
As it turned out, Liliya's nephew was born with a cleft lip.
But why does his mother claim it's your fault?
It's your fault. You cursed him, I said. I never did anything bad to anybody and don't want to. I never cursed him.
But what made her think so?
I said I was worried about their baby being healthy when he was born, and they misunderstood me, but it's not my fault.
You're not telling us something else.
There's a conflict.
It's somehow connected with your husband. You were jealous because you thought he was attracted to her, weren't you?
Yes, for some time. We lived in a rented apartment, and she was a student back then and stayed with us.
Where was your brother?
He was in the army and served in Donbass.
It turned out the brother's wife is an orphan and had no accommodation of her own. So, for the 2 years while Liliya's brother was in the army, she offered his wife to stay with her family.
Why the jealousy then?
I noticed that my husband started acting strange when she was around.
Liliya claims that at some moment, she noticed that her brother's wife started dressing up a lot, and her husband complimented her.
And you suspected that they had an affair.
Yes, I thought so, and I told her to move out so we would not quarrel anymore.
It seems like that woman has enough reasons to hate you. Could she have possibly put a spell on you?
We must see her.
It turned out that the woman's name is Svetlana. She and her husband live in the next village.
Svetlana, we would like to talk to you.
We don't speak to each other at all.
Could you please explain the thing I see? You're walking. It's cold, but you're pregnant, and you feel a great grudge.
I was in a car with Liliya and her husband, Serhiy, and we kept arguing. I couldn't listen to it all anymore.
Svetlana says that Liliya couldn't calm down because of her suspicions of the affair her husband and Svetlana presumably had, even in spite of the fact that Svetlana and her husband had been living separately for a long time.
Liliya, I feel that you told pregnant Svetlana get out of the car and walk away.
I was really mad. She simply happened to be there at that moment, so I told her to get out and walk.
Svetlana says that she was left in the middle of a field, and so, pregnant, she had to walk several kilometers home through snow.
Why did you quarrel?
Because of the jealousy.
I never had anything with Serhiy.
I asked the cards if Svetlana really had an affair with your husband, and they told me it never happened. And the most important thing is that neither of you has ever done any magic or other harm to the other. It never happened either.
There only was the quarrel, and it was ungrounded. It's time for you to reconcile.
Forgive me for treating you like that. I'm happy we've clarified it. The burden that's been there for 5 years is finally off.
I'm happy the conflict is over.
An otherworldly entity is haunting you and your brother.
My mirror is showing me that he tried to commit suicide.
Yes, more than once.
Svetlana says that her husband has tried to kill himself a few times in the middle of the night, and that then he looked entranced.
The same otherworldly entity is controlling him. But who summoned it? Suddenly, I had an idea. What if we asked the spirit of Liliya's mother for help? All in all, it was she who told her daughter to ask us for help when she visited her in her dream. What was your mother's name?
Oksana.
Oksana, come and help your daughter. Your mom is here. She's embracing you.
Yes, I feel her from behind. It's like somebody's holding me like this.
You can talk to her.
Mom. Mom, I love you so much.
She says she's always with you.
Mom, please help me. Help me find the way out of this, please.
She tells you to go to the cemetery where your relatives are buried.
The clairvoyants arrive at the cemetery. However, Yaroslava Fedorova abruptly stops.
I feel blood has been spilled here.
Human blood?
No. It was animal blood, though it was supposed to be a child's blood. It was done to summon the entity first, and then bind it.
Bind it to Liliya's family.
Yes, a blood ritual.
I feel that it was done out of powerful love. And now my mirror is showing me two women. One of them is crying and shouting to the other, if she's gone, he'll return to me. A woman was afraid of losing a man who was much younger than her. Who could it be? My God, it's your father.
Wait, did your father have a mistress who was much older than he was?
Who was this woman? Where do we find her?
The woman is gone, and the only way to talk to her is to summon her spirit. Let me do it.
It's unbelievable. The gate next to the clairvoyants has opened itself. What is that supposed to mean?
My heart, it sank.
She's here. That woman's here. She's 50. Her eyes are bright and look very much like yours.
Grandma.
Why did she ask you who you loved more, Mom or Dad?
She simply didn't want Mom and Dad to live together. Grandma Halia didn't like Mom because Mom was an orphan. They quarreled often, so whenever we went to visit Grandma, we went there without Mom.
And then it dawned on me. Liliya's grandmother summoned the entity to rid herself of her daughter-in-law. She held the belief that her daughter-in-law had taken her beloved son from her.
This is what she's saying. Because of her, this orphan, he works too hard and even goes abroad to work more. I don't see him for months.
Yes.
Your grandmother loved your father very much.
He was the youngest and she paid him the most attention. It was so obvious.
The mother was sure that if she got rid of her daughter-in-law, she would do a favor for her son. She thought that his young wife had spoiled his life.
Yaroslava, you mentioned a child's blood that was supposed to be spilled here. Liliya, it was supposed to be your blood. I feel that your grandmother invited you to participate in the ritual.
Well, she offered me. She said, come with me to the cemetery. I need to get rid of your mother. She needed to find a grave with the name Oksana written on it and do something on it. And she said she needed help from one of the children, Mom's blood relatives. So I went to tell Dad.
When Liliya's father found out about that, he immediately went to his mother's and started a scandal. After that, he didn't speak to her for almost 3 months.
But Liliya's grandmother eventually carried out the ritual, with animal blood though.
A woman helped her. The woman practiced magic.
It was her friend Nina. She read fortune using cards and knew some things.
Your grandmother and her friend summoned the entity at the cemetery, paid it a ransom, and thought they had to deal with it.
But it's impossible to have a deal with dark forces. They always play by their own rules.
The entity was taking Liliya's family members one by one. And it started its hunt with those who carried out the ritual. Liliya's grandmother and her friend. The fortune teller that helped your grandmother died too.
She froze to death, just like Grandma, on the road.
Only then did the entity fulfill its order and kill the daughter-in-law. But how? Through the son, whose life the mother was so concerned about.
Your grandmother is crying. She wishes it had been different. She believed that your father deserved somebody better.
I'm speechless. I want this otherworldly entity to leave me and my family alone.
We need to detach the entity from you and your family, and then send it to the netherworld. He's behind you. I see him.
Go away. Leave me alone.
Quiet, quiet. It was a sign. He's gone now. We must close the portal. Now, you and your family are safe.
Thank you so much.
We are deeply grateful for your time.
Take care of yourselves.
What a terrible nightmare it is. The mother's maniacal love for her son resulted in a series of deaths in the family. If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive stories are coming up.